Pickup trucks are supposed to be the money-printing machines of the auto industry. In America, they've been untouchable for decades. But now, something shocking is happening on dealership lots. Some trucks are so bad, so unreliable, so overpriced, or so unwanted, that dealerships are literally refusing to take more stock. In some cases, they're even begging manufacturers to stop shipping them altogether. And the fallout? Brands staring down bankruptcy-level trouble. Let's break down the 9 pickup trucks that have gone from showroom stars to showroom poison. First up, the Ram 1500 EV revolution. This was supposed to be Stellantis' electric truck savior, a rival to Ford's Lightning and Chevy's Silverado EV. But the launch has been a disaster. Dealers can't move them, pricing is sky high, and early buyers are reporting charging problems and software glitches so severe the trucks randomly shut down. Some dealerships have stopped ordering them entirely, saying they'd rather fill the lot with used gas trucks that actually sell. Stellantis is bleeding cash, and this EV flop is pouring salt in the wound. Then we've got the Chevrolet Silverado 2.7 Turbo. On paper, a smaller, more efficient engine in a full-size truck sounded clever. In reality, buyers hated it. The engine's constant turbo lag, weak towing power, and early mechanical failures scared off loyal Chevy fans. Word spread fast, don't get the baby engine, and now dealers are stuck with rows of unsold Silverados nobody wants. GM's incentives are climbing, but they're just burning profit to move metal. Number 3, Nissan Titan. This truck has been a slow-motion train wreck for years, but now it's in freefall. Sales are so bad that some Nissan dealers are flat-out refusing factory shipments, saying it's dead inventory that takes up space for cars that actually sell. The Titan's dated design, poor fuel economy, and lack of meaningful updates have left it irrelevant. Nissan's U.S. truck ambitions are circling the drain, and bankruptcy whispers for the brand's North American operations aren't just conspiracy talk anymore. Next is the Toyota Tundra Hybrid. Yes, even Toyota made the list. The hybrid Tundra looked like a fuel-efficient powerhouse on paper, but reliability issues have blindsided buyers. Blown turbos, battery failures, and sky-high repair bills have damaged Toyota's ironclad reputation for truck durability. Some dealers are secretly advising customers to stick to the base gas model and refusing hybrid allocations because warranty claims are eating into their service department profits. Number 5, Ford Maverick Tremor. The Maverick's original hybrid base model was a hit, but the Tremor off-road trim? A dud. Expensive, thirsty, and plagued with drivetrain problems, the Tremor's sales collapsed almost instantly after launch. Dealers say customers come in excited, test drive it, and leave shaking their heads at how sluggish it feels compared to its price. Now, they're stuck with orange-accented paperweights on the lot. And speaking of Ford, number 6 is the F-150 Lightning Extended Range. When it debuted, it had insane hype. But now, demand has cratered. The insane price hikes, rapidly falling EV resale values, and charging downtime horror stories have dealers begging Ford to slow production. They can't move them without slashing tens of thousands off the sticker, and every unit sold at a loss is another nail in Ford's EV strategy coffin. Number 7, Jeep Gladiator Diesel. Jeep thought a diesel midsize truck would crush the competition. Instead, it's turned into a nightmare. DEF system failures, injector problems, and insane maintenance costs have made the Gladiator Diesel one of the fastest depreciating trucks on the market. Some dealers don't even bother taking them in on trade because they know they'll just sit and rot. Number 8, GMC Hummer EV Pickup. It was hyped as the ultimate electric super truck, but in reality, it's become a rolling liability. We're talking about a near 9,000-pound beast with a 6-figure price tag, plagued by battery cooling failures, software meltdowns, and production delays so bad that some customers have been waiting years. Dealers who initially took them in as Halo models are now regretting it, because every time one comes back for warranty work, it ties up a service bay for days. And here's the kicker. Its resale value is tanking faster than almost any EV truck on the market. Finally, number 9, Lordstown Endurance. This one is the poster child for what happens when hype meets harsh reality. The truck barely made it to production before recalls, and a total shutdown of operations crushed its momentum. Dealers that agreed to sell them were left with orphaned inventory and no part supply. It's now the truck that literally can't be sold. Not because no one wants it, but because the brand itself imploded before delivering a reliable product. This isn't just a flop, it's a case study in how to destroy investor and dealer trust in record time. Now, here's where the story gets bigger. because these aren't just bad trucks. They're symptoms of a deeper crisis in the pickup market. For decades, manufacturers relied on trucks to be their cash cows, using the profits to fund other projects. But when a truck launch fails, the financial hit is massive. Every unsold unit sitting on a dealer's lot is lost money. Every deep discount slashes margins. And every reliability scandal erodes brand loyalty. Some brands, like Nissan and Lordstown, are staring at near-terminal consequences. Others, like Ford and GM, are burning through billions trying to keep EV truck programs alive despite collapsing demand. Even Toyota, which used to be untouchable in the reliability game, is feeling the sting. Dealers refusing to sell certain trims isn't just an inconvenience. It's a red flashing warning that the product is toxic in the market. The scary part? These dealer rejections could be the opening act of a much larger collapse. If consumer trust in trucks keeps sliding, the industry's most profitable segment could go into freefall. And for brands already struggling with debt, supply chain issues, and the expensive shift to electrification, that kind of hit could be the final push toward bankruptcy. Let's start with Stellantis, the parent company of Ram and Jeep. On paper, they're a global powerhouse with dozens of brands, but behind the scenes, the cracks are obvious. The Ram 1500 EV Revolution's flop is just one piece of the puzzle. Stellantis is already facing shrinking sales in North America, their most profitable region. Dealers pushing back against EV truck allocations means the company is losing its biggest opportunity to compete with Ford and GM in the electric space. Combine that with Jeep's diesel Gladiator disaster, and you've got two high-cost product lines bleeding money. That's not just a problem. It's a threat to their North American business model entirely. General Motors is in a similar bind. The Silverado 2.7 turbo flop might seem minor compared to the whole Silverado lineup, but it's had a cascading effect. Customers burned by the underpowered engine are switching brands entirely, often to Ford or Ram. That's loyalty you can't buy back. Meanwhile, the Hummer EV pickups, sky-high production costs, and recall issues are eating into profits. GM thought the Hummer would be a tech showcase. Instead, it's a loss leader that's dragging down their EV credibility. Then there's Nissan, and here the situation is downright dire. The Titan's failure isn't just about poor sales. It's about the brand's complete inability to compete in the full-size truck segment. Nissan is already struggling with shrinking U.S. market share and razor-thin margins. Without a competitive truck, they lose the American heartland entirely. Some analysts believe Nissan might abandon full-size trucks altogether, but that would mean giving up one of the most profitable vehicle segments in the country. For a brand already facing financial headwinds, that's a dangerous move. Toyota, usually the bulletproof giant, is getting a taste of what happens when reliability slips. The Tundra Hybrid's turbo and battery issues are shocking longtime fans who thought Toyota never breaks. Warranty costs are stacking up, and dealers rejecting hybrid allocations means Toyota's big bet on hybrid trucks isn't delivering the profits they counted on. While Toyota isn't at risk of bankruptcy anytime soon, the damage to their reputation in the truck segment could take years to undo, and in the meantime, competitors are circling. Ford is under massive pressure. The F-150 Lightning Extended Range was supposed to be the future of America's best-selling truck. Instead, they're slashing prices just to get them off lots, while each sale still costs more to build than the revenue it brings in. And the Maverick Tremor's flop shows that even Ford's smaller trucks aren't immune to failure. The problem? Ford's debt load is already high, and EV development costs are burning billions every quarter. If their electric truck gamble doesn't pay off soon, the financial strain could be severe. And then we've got Lordstown Motors, which is basically already a ghost. The endurance truck was their only product, and when it failed, the company had nothing left to stand on. Bankruptcy came fast, leaving dealers holding unsellable inventory and customers with orphan vehicles. It's a brutal reminder that in the truck world, a bad launch can end your company overnight. Behind closed doors, dealer networks are becoming increasingly blunt with automakers. What used to be polite, "We'll take a few less units this quarter," has turned into outright refusals. Some dealerships are sending formal letters to manufacturers saying, "Stop shipping this model. We won't floor plan it." That's dealership speak for, "We won't waste our money financing this dead product to sit on the lot collecting dust." For automakers, this is a nightmare scenario. Dealers are their distribution lifeline. If those dealers start rejecting key models, especially trucks, it disrupts production planning, inflates unsold inventory, and forces costly plant slowdowns. Every unit that sits unsold on a lot ties up dealer capital, which means dealers have less cash to invest in vehicles that do sell. And when dealers lose money on bad trucks, their trust in the brand takes a serious hit. In markets like Texas, Oklahoma, and the Midwest, the core truck buying heartland, this problem is magnified. Word spreads quickly in these communities. If one dealer refuses a model because of too many breakdowns or customer complaints, nearby dealerships often follow suit. It's not just bad press, it's a contagion. The moment customers start hearing, "Yeah, we don't carry that trim anymore, too many issues, the damage is permanent," some brands are quietly offering desperate incentives to dealers just to keep the trucks moving. We're talking bonus cash, extra marketing funds, or floor plan support that helps cover the cost of keeping unsold trucks on the lot. But those incentives eat directly into already thin profit margins. In some cases, manufacturers are essentially paying dealers to take vehicles they know won't sell at full price. A financial death spiral if it goes on too long. And here's where it gets dangerous. This isn't just happening with EV trucks. Gas power models are getting caught in the same trap. The difference is that EVs at least have the excuse of new tech growing pains. A gas truck that fails, like the Titan or the diesel Gladiator, has no such defense. When a tried-and-true engine format turns into a warning nightmare, dealers lose faith instantly, and customers feel betrayed. We're starting to see automakers pull back production plans mid-year, which almost never happens unless sales are truly falling off a cliff. Factory overtime is being cut, supplier orders are being slashed, and in some cases, plants are going idle for weeks at a time. On paper, these look like temporary adjustments, but in reality, they're a sign that certain trucks are being quietly killed before they rack up more losses. The trucks most likely to face the axe in the next 12 months are already on life support. The Nissan Titan is at the top of that list. It's been a dead man walking for years, but now dealer resistance is accelerating its demise. Nissan has already announced plans to wind down production, and without a replacement in the pipeline, this is essentially the brand admitting defeat in the full-size truck segment. Once the Titan is gone, Nissan loses a major foothold in the U.S., and that means less showroom traffic, fewer cross-sales, and a shrinking dealer network. Next in danger is the Lordstown Endurance, though in reality, it's not likely to be axed. It's already over. The only reason you might still see one is because they're collecting dust at dealerships that can't legally sell them without parts and support. These trucks are going to end up as curiosities in used car auctions, sold for pennies on the dollar. The Jeep Gladiator diesel is also on borrowed time. Jeep has quietly stopped pushing diesel trims to dealers, and the word is that the diesel option will be eliminated altogether in the next model year. Once that happens, buyers who wanted the diesel torque will have no reason to choose the Gladiator over more reliable midsize trucks like the Toyota Tacoma or Chevy Colorado. The Ram 1500 EV revolution is trickier. Stellantis can't just kill it outright because they've invested billions into the platform. But if sales keep tanking, expect a repositioning. That's PR code for slashing production, cutting trims, and offering fire sale pricing to move inventory. If that doesn't work, the truck could be quietly phased out in favor of a cheaper, more mass-market electric Ram. Even the F-150 Lightning could face cuts. Not a full death, but a massive scaling back. Ford has already paused plant expansions due to slower-than-expected demand, and dealers say the days of months-long waitlists are over. If sales drop any further, Ford will have no choice but to cut production to match reality, which means less revenue to offset their enormous EV development costs. And for the GMC Hummer EV pickup, the writing's already on the wall. GM might not kill it publicly, but it could become a special order-only vehicle, meaning dealers won't stock them on lots at all. That's usually the final step before an official discontinuation. The Hummer brand was meant to be GM's electric flex. Instead, it's turned into a rolling PR liability. If these trucks start disappearing, the ripple effect could be brutal. Dealers lose key models, customers drift to competing brands, and manufacturing plants are left without enough work to stay open at full capacity. That leads to layoffs, supplier bankruptcies, and more financial pressure on automakers. It's a chain reaction that can push even massive companies closer to the edge. The consumer mindset toward trucks is changing fast, and not in a way that favors these struggling models. For decades, buyers would take a gamble on a new engine or an improvement trim because trucks had built a reputation for lasting forever. But now, the trust has been fractured. Buyers are no longer willing to spend $50,000, $70,000, or even $100,000 on something that might spend more time in the service bay than on the road. Social media has poured gasoline on this fire. One viral TikTok of a brand new Tundra hybrid blowing a turbo at 5,000 miles can undo millions in marketing. A YouTube review showing the F-150 Lightning stranded at a charging station spreads faster than any corporate PR spin can catch up to. And when consumers start seeing multiple videos from different owners confirming the same failures, the perception shift from rare issue to this truck is junk. This loss of trust directly impacts dealership traffic. 10 years ago, a customer might walk into a Ford or Nissan dealership with a truck in mind and buy it the same day. Now, more and more buyers are cross-shopping aggressively, looking for reliability proof before they sign anything. If they hear from a friend or read in a forum that a certain trim is plagued with issues, they simply cross it off their list, and they're not coming back for it later. That's why dealer rejection is becoming such a powerful signal. When customers see empty spots where certain trucks should be, they ask why. And when the salesman quietly admits, "We don't carry those anymore, too many problems," it's game over. That customer not only avoids that model, but often the entire brand. Even worse for automakers, the next wave of truck buyers, younger consumers in their late 20s and 30s, are far more willing to switch brands than their parents. Brand loyalty that once spanned generations is fading fast. If a Toyota truck burns them, they'll go buy a Ford. If a Ford lets them down, they'll jump to Chevy. And if they get burned twice, they might just leave trucks entirely for SUVs or crossovers. This shifting loyalty is a nightmare for manufacturers already fighting to keep their truck segments profitable. Trucks are expensive to develop, expensive to build, and expensive to warranty. Without the cushion of loyal repeat buyers, automakers are exposed to every flaw, every recall, and every bad review like never before. One big misstep can turn a profitable model into a financial sinkhole in a matter of months. All of this is colliding with one of the worst financial climates the auto industry has faced in decades. Rising interest rates have made financing a truck more expensive than ever. A $60,000 pickup that might have been affordable at 2% interest now comes with a monthly payment so high it scares buyers away before they even test drive. That means slower sales, longer lot times, and more pressure on dealers to slash prices, which, in turn, eats into automaker profits. For brands already struggling with bad product launches, this is a lethal combination. If your truck is selling slowly and you have to discount heavily to move it, you're not just making less profit. In many cases, you're losing money on every sale. And for some of these struggling trucks, we're not talking about a few $100s lost per unit. Industry insiders have leaked that certain EV trucks, like the Ford Lightning Extended Range and GMC Hummer EV, are costing their manufacturers tens of thousands more to build than they sell for, once warranty costs are factored in. The ripple effect is brutal. Every loss-making truck drags down the company's balance sheet. That means less money for R&D, less money to fix the problems, and less money to develop the next generation of vehicles that could actually save the brand. It becomes a financial death spiral. The longer these bad trucks stay in production, the more cash they burn, and the harder it becomes to dig out of the hole. Some automakers have enough cash reserves to weather the storm for now. Toyota, for example, can absorb the Tundra Hybrid's warranty costs without risking bankruptcy in the short term. But others, like Nissan, which is already bleeding market share, don't have that cushion. Every month that the Titan sits unsold, Nissan's U.S. operations edge closer to the red line. And then there are the smaller players like Lordstown Motors that simply don't survive at all. Once the losses pile high enough and investor confidence evaporates, bankruptcy becomes inevitable. We're already seeing whispers in industry circles about other EV startups following the same path.